check the stuff in a sec. So no idea if we are all good to go. No notifications have come through or anything, so I'm quickly going to check YouTube. Ooh. Quickly going to send something over to hopefully we are live though. As we are live, let's just make sure the audio is good. And if you're just wondering what I was about Walsall versus Alfreton Town in Alfreton. As I do think all the audio is working, my connection on my phone is just absolutely diabolical. As I say that, yeah, my connection on my phone is absolutely diabolical. So, it's more or less than what I have the time. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to JSI. Season number 9. Here today for the 6th round of the season. This is the Spanish Grand Prix here at the Circuit de Barcelona de Catalunya. My name is SR Zook. I'll be taking through the action on this fine Friday evening. Here today we are going to be cooking indeed here in the Iberian region of Europe, also fondly known as Spain and Portugal. However, we are in the first of the two in this Grand Prix here today at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. A short qualifying session followed by 33 laps of non-stop racing action to take place here today. 13 drivers currently making up the grid here today, so it is going to be a short 18-minute qualifying session here, not as normal today, but as we'll quickly run through the championship in just 1 second, as everyone is going to be readying up. So I'm quickly going to do that instead. But after last week, the Singapore Grand Prix, it is no likely it's a smooth Spaniard out on top. Davidenko out on top. Troy in second, and guys in third. JSI in fourth. With Renz in fifth, serving in final race ban. Dan in sixth, Yoz in seventh, Shane in eighth, Ivo ninth, and Zilak in 10th. Following into the constructor standings is no likey. It is Red Bull out on top at 185 points. Ferrari in second on 131. McLaren making waves in third on 87 in a bit of a league of their own. And then the battle of the best of the rest is currently Mercedes, the Brackley team, out on top in that championship in fourth place on 41 points after being the only gainers in the Constructors' Championships after the Singapore Grand Prix. Aston Martin were the only losers, and look, they lost the position to their Brackley counterparts as they dropped into fifth on 30 points. Alpine in sixth on 18 points in a bit of a league of their own as well. In the battle of the back markers, so Alfa Romeo lead the way on 6 points, Haas on 5 points, AlphaTauri on 1 point, and Williams, unfortunately, are the only team yet to score in this season, and their hopes are going to be lying in the man in that Williams. Centre boy, as very quickly. As I'm quickly going to pass it over to someone quickly just to say. So I'll quickly put in the general chat for people to jump in to see it. But we will be getting underway. 14 corners make up today's track here at the Circuit de Barcelona de Catalunya. The first time we have, well, the final chicane actually being removed, as which quickly get track layout and corner names up, despite not really having many corner names here at the Spanish Grand Prix at Barcelona, but a track infamous for being known for being one of the best testing venues in in Formula 1 and in many motorsports, in fact. But 14 corners make up the track, and it is raining here today in the short qualifying session. As quickly going to find a track. 14 corners though will make up the track. 33 laps here. Lap times ranging in about the 1 minute 20s in the race. But we should be seeing 1 minute, possibly we should be seeing some very, very short lap times in the race, as we do get rid of that horrible chicane and the lap is no longer very tedious. But already a track where many drivers have made a name for themselves. But corners such as the infamous turn 3, Renault easy to lose the car in there. But we're quickly going to go onto the map here. And the first man out on track is actually the Williams. It is Centre Boy, the man driving for the team, yet to score a singular point in this 9th instalment of JSI. And he's going to be looking to try and get himself onto the scoreboard here in a race. Only 13 drivers here today, as we've got drivers such as JSI, David, Troy, and many quick drivers in the top teams. But it's going to be interesting to see what Centre Boy can do in that Williams. Could this be a battle of attrition here in these wetter conditions, or could we see the dry conditions make their way in? But we're going to ride on board a lap with Centre Boy, as now he is foot to the floor, the ERS deployed. I think he left it on accidentally throughout the lap here, as many people go for many push-ups. But down into turn 1, off the brake just after the 100-meter board, into 3rd gear goes the Williams here, a car known for its straight line speed. As now 5th gear into, and right off the throttle into 6th now. Around Renault we go here, and that is some beautiful traction for the man in the Williams. Now heavy on the throttle here into turn number 4, and wrapped it around beautifully. Don't want to dip a tyre on the grass, especially on this year's game, especially in these conditions as well. Obviously not many drivers having to practice in these intermediate conditions, but now on the run into turn number 7 and 8 here, the trickiest installment, you could say, of the track. As now into turn 9, the fastest corner as well on the track there. Easy to spin and, well, bottom out your car on the curb and spin there. But now nicely hooked up into 10, through the silky into 11, and now round 12 we go. And it's been a very tidy lap for the Williams to try and get his banker in here today, and he is now foot to the floor here into the final 2 corners here. The 2 right-handers, what's it going to be for the Williams driver up to the line. Now it's a 21.8. And who's going to be next to cross the line? We're going to quickly do that. I think it's going to be the Ferrari next up to cross the line. It'll be Mr. James, the man driving for TGT. And in the prancing course here, one of two prancing courses in these, but the only one out currently on track here, ran him through the final two corners, now into 13, and again committed into 14 here, and he opts for 6th. Yeah, oh, loses the car, he's onto the gravel, and now it's the Ferrari into the wall. The front wing has been damaged, and the Ferrari bottled a decent looking lap there, and he is into the wall. Yellow flags down the main straight. Next up to cross line will be the man driving for AMS. It is Guys now, as James crossed the line second fastest. Guys though goes to the top of the time sheet with a 19.8 there. That McLaren looking very strong this season, as Marley hasn't validated his lap time, so he will not be on a push lap. Senna boy is on another push lap. The man currently sat in second here, and I think a lot of people have opted to do some rallying this weekend as Senna nearly enters the gravel trap. So I think that's the McLaren, by the way. He's moving out the way of the Ferrari, or he's had a bit of an incident on another push lap, and the Ferrari is past him. So we're going to run on board with Mr. James, or are we? No, we won't be, because he is also pulling out the way of the man in the Haas, a car known for killing its tyres. It is the JSI in that Haas, and obviously we've seen wonders from many drivers before. The team currently sat in 8th, I believe, on 5 points this season. And it's not been a good season, a class season so far for the team from America. But DJC is going to be looking to make his way through, as your optimal gear for DJC is the pit limiter, as shown on the wheel. Please note that is sarcasm, as it is a bit of a visual glitch here on F1 23. But rounding turn 14 we go. Where can DJC put the Haas? He goes to the top of the timing sheets by 6/100ths of a second, and is at the top. As Marley improves on that even more, 4/10ths of a second dunked on the Haas. The Mercedes W14 looking quite strong in these early parts of qualifying in these wet conditions, not like they did in Brazil in real life, where they did look pretty mid indeed, especially on the straights. But no one else opting to go out yet. I think it's actually going to be Goodman's the next man to go out on the lap here, as Marley is opted to invalidate his lap time like a spoon. 12 minutes left of this qualifying session here today, ladies and gentlemen. Next up will be Goodman's, and he is just coming out now on an out lap. The man with Daniel Ricciardo's car number on, well, slapped on that Mercedes, the number 3. Can he perform like the Honey Badger would in a Mercedes? We will never know, because, well, yeah. Yeah. Whew, sorry, I tried to be a comedian, it didn't work. By the way, another one out. Senna Boy is already going out for his second lap here. A lot of people are opting to possibly only do 1 or 2 laps. I think Jesse has opted to also go back and do the chicane. What the hell have I just done? As yet, Guzman's the only man out on a lap here. Going through into turn 1 and now turn 2, the Mercedes. Looks quite flat to the floor here as the DRS has been enabled. Okay, so it's drying up out on track. Which is interesting to see. So times will be dropping even more throughout this lap here. So yeah, Guzman, sorry, my apologies there. Turn 12. Now rounding through and into the final two corners now. Very committed here. Can he beat his teammate, who's currently sat at the top of the time sheet, the Belgian man, currently at the top, but no, Guzman's slapped 7 attempts on his teammate there, and goes to the top of the time sheet. It's a Mercedes 1 and 2 at this current stage. Here's everyone else is now leaving the pit lane onto the softer compounder tyre here. However, there is spray picking up here, and could this be a case of last man out will be the one to get the best conditions? It certainly looks that way at this current stage in the event. So far, yeah, track majorly drying out there. You can still see some spray on the Aston Martin as Goodmans is going to come into the pit lane as he rounds out the final two corners. I'll be surprised if he does go again. I know he does opt to come into the pit lane, so it'll be Ron Kincan in the Aston Martin, a car which hasn't really been there so far on this. Well, at the start of the game, was the better cars, but has certainly dropped off in performances. McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari have all made headway on the team, going a bit backwards, you could say, but that's what you get if you employ Lance Stroll. Sorry to any Lance Stroll fans out there for absolutely not giving a fuck. But obviously purple there for Ron Kincan, 22.9 in that first sector. Purple he goes as now he sends it down into turn 5, and it's a tidy lap so far for the Aston Martin, right on the limit there. And it's going to be basically a case of what can Aston Martin do. Now we're going to round up into turn number 9 as we've got 6 and a bit minutes to go. Oh, Ron Kincan goes off, doesn't invalidate his lap, but opts to take the honorary approach and to back off as Sennaboy will be next. Oh, Sennaboy would be a great rallier there as he opts to go into the gravel. So next up will be, I think it's going to be the man currently sat in a prancing horse. It is yours. A 22.4. The track is seriously ramping up here. 5/10 faster than what the Aston Martin Ron Kincan was doing so far. But now it's foot to the floor out to turn 5 as Troy goes to the top of the timing sheets for Red Bull by 3 seconds on the Mercedes. Don't forget, Troy, first man to set his lap time on the softest compounded tyre. Sennaboy goes up to third fastest after the trip into the gravel. Yoso will be the next man to cross the line at 52.7 at the moment as he's purple in that second sector. As now we round through turn 12. 2 more corners for the prancing horse. Committed, brave, what can it be for the prancing horse, for the Ferrari? Rounding out into turn 14, foot to the floor again, up to the line now. Yos goes to the top of the time machine by a second. And next to cross the line will be Yos, guys, second fastest. Next up, I think it's not Mercedes' turn, it is the smooth Spaniard. It is Mr. Davidenko yet again. The championship leader up to the line. DRS wide open. He goes to the top of the time sheet with a 14.7 there. Next up's going to be JSI up to the line now. And what's it going to be as he doesn't improve on his own lap time here? So it's going to be Ron Kincan, the man who made a mistake out of it seemed as Marley is out. Marley has crashed at Renault. Ron Kincan goes up to third fastest. We're going to quickly run on board here. It looks like he's just Charles Leclerc it. And next up's going to be Sennaboy up to the line now. Jumps Goodmans into 6th place. It's a great qualifying session so far for the Williams team. MDJ is going to be next across the line. The Alpine, the lone Alpine, he's out of battery. He opts to box. And it's going to be, I think, Ivo the next man to cross the line, possibly. I don't know yet. Maybe, yeah, it's going to be Ivo. And he's purple in that first sector, but he's got the Aston Martin just in front of him. The green powerhouse is going to have to get out of the way. This is horribly done. As Ivo has been heavily blocked by Ron Kinkun. He collides with the Aston Martin, and he is going to be absolutely furious with the Aston Martin driver as they are wheel to wheel here. Ivo cuts onto the racing line there, and Ron Kinkun spins him out. Ron Kinkun, the man currently sat in fifth, and spun out Ivo. And drama untailing here in qualifying. A lot of drivers, Ivo, Nitro, MDJ, are all going to have to do this on their final runs. But anyone realistically outside the top 6, but outside the top 5 you could say, will have to do this on a final run now. All the pressure mounting, it could be basically a one-shot qualifying for everyone outside the top 5 at this current stage to try and get their way up the grid. Ooh. Apologies there. But the first man out on track will be Sennaboy. Or will it? No, it won't be. He's just the furthest down the pit lane. As everyone now opting to go out for their final lap, it's going to be Guys, the first man out on track. Now, he'll be the first man to set his lap time here. But could it be tactical? Oh, he's letting JSI through. So JSI was the first man out on track. He's not going to have the best track conditions. In fact, it is going to be the last man out on track, which looks to be either probably all of the Red Bulls. Well, neither of the Red Bulls. It could be a Mercedes. Well, Marley can't go out. It looks to be Sennaboy who's going to get the best track conditions unless he doesn't go out, in which case it will actually be the Alpine driver of MDJ, the man comes out in 13th with 2002 in his name. Well, we've discovered that many drivers have different numbers for different reasons. As these two are racing now. Guys is going to go. Guys will go ahead of JSI. Bit of traffic jam, in fact. As the McLarens are... Where's JSI going? The McLarens are playing a bit of a team game here. As Guys is basically going to tow Ivo, it looks like. As now it's going to be foot to the floor for the final time. 1 more minute to go in qualifying. If you're not out now, out on track, you are done for qualifying. Guys will be the first man out on his final lap. The only man not out on track, Marley, after a crash at turn 3. Sennaboy has not opted to go out for another lap here, but it's going to be Guys, the McLaren, foot to the floor, through turn 1 we go. And the Papaya leading the way here in the man currently sat in 3rd. He needs to find 9/10 of a second to match the smooth Spaniard and yours just in front of him. And he finds 5/10 of a second in that first sector alone. And the times will start tumbling down here. Guys, you could expect the first man to be out on provisional pole. Get your votes in now, folks. Who's going to take it? It's Guys now opting through into 7 and 8 here. Doesn't hit the sausage curb. Doesn't get spat out. Round turn 9 we go. The McLaren of Guys looks to be powering down over DRS wide open to the second and final time in this lap. Into turn 10. 2.4 seconds he finds in that first sector. In that second sector and first sector alone. He is purple. I repeat, Guys, he is purple in the sectors. And now the Papayas, they lead the way out on track. But will they lead the way? Come the end of qualifying. Guys, up to the line now. Goes to the top of the timing sheet. Ivo takes it off him, though. JSI will be next. And he says only 10th fastest. That's a thing. That's James. Third fastest for him. Goodmans takes it though. And next is going to be Ron Kinken, the man who spun out the man who's on provisional pole right now. Ron Kinken up to the line. Goes fifth fastest. Yost to the top of the timing sheet we go. And next is going to be Football Nitro. Seventh fastest for him. Now it's Red Bull's turn. Davydenko. Fifth fastest at his home Grand Prix. Troivo to the line. It's only second fastest. Yost for the prancing horse. Takes pole for the Spanish Grand Prix. He defeats the mighty RB19 in that SF23. And it is Yost out on top here in qualifying, and will take to the front of the grid. Him and Troy, a class of their own. But give a round of applause to the team from Woking, the Papayas, who lock out the second row of the grid. Goodman's in fifth. MDJ comes out of nowhere to take sixth for Alpine. Davydenko, your smooth Spaniard, aka the championship leader, and his home Grand Prix here in seventh. James will join him on the fourth row in eighth. Aston Martin hold on firm to the fifth row. Sennaboy Amale up for the, I think that is in fact the sixth row, with JSI at the back of the grid. And what a time, what a lap, and now we are back for the race. And it is a lap of wonder, a lap of greatness. From the Ferrari, but can he hold on against the Red Bull? As we're now going to be waiting up, lining up onto the grid here, formation lap ahead of us. As we're going to see what everyone opts for on the tyres. We could see, I think I did see someone opted for the softer compound of tyres at the moment here. As we go, it is Ivo, Ron Kinken and Sennaboy opting for the softest, the red walls, the soft compound tyre, the medium compound tyre on for every other driver on the track. 13 drivers, 10 will score points here today. Get your predictions in now, folks. Who's going to take victory here today? As, oh my god, I can barely breathe without being tickled on my throat. But do not rule out Ivo. He's on the Red Bull tyres. And could this be a win? Going the way of McLaren. So I'm quickly going to look through. Who are your race winners so far this season? Is that everyone lines up the grid? So we've had Ferrari win last time out with a Yossi boy. David has won this season. Troy has won this season twice. So this could be McLaren's first win of season 9. As the final driver, JSI, will be off to line the grid. And when he lines up, we will be underway for 33 laps of action here today. It'll be yours out on top, leading us down into turn 1. Oh, will Troy get the launch on the prancing course as Sennaboy has been disqualified for being a dum-dum on the parking. But as now the lights are prepared, the drivers anticipating that run into turn 1, as we've got the 5 red lights for the Spanish Grand Prix in JSI, and we are underway here. Yours gets a great start in comparison to Troy. Troy gets an absolutely horrific one, and he's already been jumped by the McLaren team. As this is a horrible camera angle, Yours leads into turn 1. Troy fights guys through turn 3, and now into turn 3. Troy back up into 3rd place. Davydenko is being hounded all over the back of everyone else. As I else, the Mercedes and Marley going off the track. Seneboy already getting a great start as well, and he's down the inside of turn 4 on the Frantic horse, on the Ferrari, and that is a great start for Yosto. And Davydenko in 8th for the moment here. He's fighting Runkinken at his home Grand Prix here today. MDJ, he's going to go down the inside of 7, and now there's still wheel to wheel, him and Goodmans. Wheel to wheel into turn 9. You don't try it here, lads. And I don't know how they're still wheel to wheel, but DJ is just ahead, and here comes Ron Kinken around the outside. Call him Sim Shady because it's around the outside, and it is a 4-way battle. Marley spins at turn 10. Oh, the Ferrari is into the grass. And that is a spin. Those yellow flags out there. Yours leads to Ivo in 2nd, Troy in 3rd, but for how long? Here comes Troy. The Red Bull is back, and he is up and ahead and past Ivo. The soft compounded tyres are not cooking at the moment for the McLaren team, for anyone really on the softs. Davydenko by ways ahead and through ahead of Goodmans into 7th place here. The Red Bull needs to make some progress as his championship rival at the moment in Troy, currently sat in 2nd, will take the championship lead. Ron Kinken and MGJ are still fighting out here. MGJ goes a little bit deep in 5. Can Ron Kinken get the traction, get the power? And he doesn't commit to a very kamikaze move into turn number 7. And that is good racecraft to know when he is beaten, but now he has got a certain smooth Spaniard all in his mirrors at the moment here. As is David going to try around the outside. Is David trying to become Slim Shady? You know why? He couldn't know, and he tried it around the outside. Ivo already picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. As Troy now sets the fastest lap of the race, and here he comes. He's already got Yours. Is Yours going to be able to fight back? No, he doesn't yet. And Troy leads the Spanish Grand Prix. The prancing horse for Tifosi are still urging on their man to take another win for the prancing horse. Back-to-back wins it could be for the team from Maranello. But these two look to be the runaway, the standout. As Ivo's really struggling on the softest compounder tyre. He's down to 4th now. Guys is through and ahead into 3rd. MDJ is forcing a bit of a traffic jam at the moment here in 5th place. Being a bit of a catalyst, you could say, in a chemical reaction. And he's got the smooth Spaniard for company in his wing mirrors. Here's David, looking to try and make his way up the grid as quick as he can. Knowing Troy is going to run away with this at this current stage here. No one really close enough at the moment to make an overtake. As David still trying to stick with the Alpine here. The Alpine known for its good straight line speed. The Red Bull is known for being just good in absolutely everything it does, apart from a thing called Singapore. As we enter now lap 4 of 33, 3 laps already gone in this race. Davydenko is pushing here, 15.2 there, as Yours is now ahead and through in turn 1. But is Troy going to try and move in Renault? No, he doesn't yet. But they are. You could not even put a piece of paper between how close these two have been all race. You couldn't even make which is top portraits. Now David down the inside of 4 makes the move on MDJ, sorry, and is through up into the top 5. Red Bull looking to make amends. James by ways ahead of Football Nitro, but they're wheel to wheel. Nitro looks to be getting James on the traction here. As James around the outside, they're wheel to wheel into 7, and oh my word, Football Nitro with some stellar defence to keep that 9th position. So yeah, they look like kind of saints, which is quite wow. But Troy Lee's yours in second. But Troy looking to make Catalunya his fortress at the moment here. That 5 of 33. Here, and he is looking very quick indeed in the clean air at the moment here. As Troy rallying out 12. Sorry about the yawning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on 5 hours of sleep, okay? So yes. As Troy now, he is setting 40. He is setting some fast laps. JSI, by the way, has already made his one and only pit stop in this race, but he just won't make it to the end. That probably is for damage. Don't forget as well, James has got damage. Goodman's is ahead from Kingdom. The softs are dead. Ivo is really struggling on his soft tyres. My apologies for the hiccups. And had the softs died just too quickly for him to make an impact. As David is already going to make a move onto the podium here, the smooth Spaniard, up and through into third place. Further back, MDJ is looking to really be making that Alpine look like a race-winning car here. Maybe just Pierre Gasly and as Senna boy, safety car is out. Ivo is out. He's crashed at turn 2, double DNF, and that is the safety car deployed. And that is 2 cars very much out of this Spanish Grand Prix here today. That was a crash for Ivo at turn 2. Senna boy crashing out at turn number 14. And the final corner, it looked like there. So we're going to have some laps under the safety car. Who's going to opt to box? As tyres won't make it to the end. Well, they will make it to the end. However, a big tyre deficit will be apparent. As we're going to ride on board with, I think, Troy, as they do opt to come into the pit lane. Don't forget how powerful new tyres are in this game, and don't forget as well, Davidenko will have to double stack with Troy. And they do opt to double stack. Guys is also win. It's a good opportunity for the soft runners to come in for a brand new set of tyres. Is Red Bull with a time van absolutely perfect. I think everyone now is going to go to the hard compound tyres. It's going to be interesting though, this race. With this dynamic of everyone on the harder compound tyre. As the only one we'll have to wait for is JSI. As I've just realised, I'm going to start calling yours Joe's, because I can. Because it is an S at the end. But I think everyone opting to go on to the hardest, and the White Wall's hardest tyres, aka known as, yep, your White Wall compound tyre. Luigi knows what you want, and it is White Wall. But we'll be getting underway on lap 10 of this race. So I'm going to take a quick water break to go and get some water so Ron King can spin in the safety car. You muppet. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies for that. I would have been quicker. However, I had to go downstairs to go and get my water. Throat feels better now. And that is perfect timing as the safety car is going to power its way into the pit lane. Which safety car do we have? We had the Mercedes, as Nitro now picks up a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Mr. James. Ron Kinkin is at... I don't think he's making friends, I think he's making a few enemies in this race so far. As Marley is ahead of Ron King Football Nitro now. People make a few enemies with each other. There's hopefully no heroics into turn one that result into collisions, but we would love to see some heroics into turn one as the safety car is into pit lane. So now Troy dictates the pace and can choose when we get underway, and it is so overtaken to the timing line, but it is going to be foot to the floor, anchors away for Troy. It's going to be green flag running once more here in JSI as Football Nitro enters the pit lane to serve that 5-second time penalty. But Troy leads into turn one. Goodman's already really struggling to keep the pace with the Alpine at the moment here. So everyone already in close proximity of each other. As yes, I think that's damage for the Aston Martin. As James is all over the back of Goodman's at the moment here. And Goodman's is really struggling. The Ferrari is going to try around the outside of 5. You don't make a move there normally. As he's going for the switchback of dreams. And now it's foot to the floor. But he can't seem to get the power down as quickly as Goodman's. And the Mercedes stays ahead just for a little while longer. Now we up through into 8. And now on the run into 9 we go. And the Ferrari is still all over the back of the rear wing. He is sick of seeing the honest. And he is going to want to make the move into turn number 10. But he doesn't in the end. The only man outside DRS range so far. Despite not being activated till lap 12. Is it a bump? That's interesting. Oh. Whew. The BBC One for the FA Cup, which will be interesting. We are now on laptop. The DRS will be activated. This lap, guys, is struggling to keep pace at the moment. Davidenko. It's going to be a great result for the Alpine team. Got sat in sixth. If MTJ can make the move past, even then, a fifth place would be a great result for the French outfit. Sorry, guys, about the hydration nation stuff. But this is a chance for Alpine to gain massively on Aston Martin, who are only scoring 4 points in comparison to the Alpine's 10. So that's 6 points gained in a battle where there's only 15 points separating the two for fifth place in the constructors. And the team, which in real life is backed by Renault powertrains, is actually backed by Red Bull here in JSI, which is quite interesting to see. Yours is really struggling on this hard compound though to keep up with Troy. Troy looks to be in a league of his own at the moment here, but he has used all of his battery in comparison to Yo's. James Bowie is ahead and through. As Marley as well is also going to move as one Mercedes gets overtaken, the other does some overtaking himself. Marley up and through into 8th place, and Alpine would be loving to see that, as that's another 2 points gained for them in the championship fight. Marley has really found some pace in this race. And Mercedes coming to life just slightly as David Bowie is all over the back of Yo's and looks to want to make the move as soon as possible. We now wrap through turn 12 into 13 and now flat through into 14. So you do it. There's safety car. Ron Kincoln and JSI are out. So for everyone will be scoring at least 2 points in this race regarding you finish. But that looks to be an incident between Ron Kincoln and JSI, leading to both of them getting So everyone opting to pit except for Goodman. So Goodman is opting to go on the harder compound side just a bit longer. Except for James. James opts to the hards. Marley on the mediums. For what I draw on the mediums. Can they make it? Will the medium compound side make it? As we're going to say Nitro is going to opt to pit here. Ooh. There's Warsaw are massive everywhere we go. Everywhere they go. 2, 3, 4. Warsaw are massive everywhere we go. Oh, Goodman's decides to pit. So here on lap 16, the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. Goodman drops to the back of the grid. Will the mediums make it though? It's a really good question. As Guys, by the way, has jumped Davidenko. David half into double stack. Behind his teammate Troy, so that has allowed the door to be open slightly for McLaren. As JSI has left possession, he is out of this race. Safety car in this lap though. So we're going to see what happened. Well, what they are talking about in the incident. But Troy becomes your virtual Mr. Bob Mylander for this safety car restart. And we are going to be underway for this restart here today. As we now into 13. Weaving away. He did this on the exit of 13 last time. Into 14. Is he going to go again at the same place? No, he opts to go a bit later. Now we round 14 and it's foot to the floor and it is go, 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 go. And Troy gets a good restart. But Davidenko has got the best of the lot at this current stage. He's going to look to try and make the move up here. Constantino effect, it's turn one we go. It is Troy on top, it is Jose in second, and it is Guys in third. And MGJ, boy, it's really looking really racy at this current stage. The Alpine could be on for a good result here. Now he doesn't opt to dive it down the inside, wraps it through in turn 5, and he is all over the back of Davidenko. Don't forget as well, he has got company. In the case of the Ferrari, as I've just realised, the Alpine is now the slowest car on that grid. Wow. as Davydenko down the inside of guys at turn 10. The Red Bull, now he's going to go around the outside, and it doesn't optimise it here. The Marble's getting in the way now, as guys has lost the DRS to Jones, so David needs to make this move stick. Don't forget the DRS will be activated on lap 19 of 33 in this race. As Troy sets the fastest lap of the race on these medium compound tyres. And Davydenko is now all over the back here. He needs to make this move now. It's now or never. He ain't gonna live forever, but it's gonna be down the inside of one we go. But here comes guys, and it's not gonna pay off here. The attack from guys. MDJ, by the way, is really hounding that McLaren. And now, don't tell me he's gonna go for it down the inside. No, he doesn't send dive bomb him. But now they are rear to front. And now around the outside goes MDJ, and here he goes on the power. The Alpine is looking phenomenal, but he just can't seem to get the better of the McLaren. And this current series, MDJ is looking absolutely spot on in this race so far. And it's possibly the slowest car on that grid. He is proven to be absolutely no slouch in this race. As Troy has already broken the DRS. And now he has set a brand new fastest lap. That, let's just take that into consideration that he is going about 2 seconds a lap faster than the back markers. My race is phenomenal from Troy. Lap 19 of 33 here today. As James, by the way, is all over the back of the Alpine at this current stage. Hydration. But this is where the fight is at. The DRS is now with the prancing horse. And he is closing that gap down massively here. As he is going to be later on the brakes here. Taking more risk. Does yours. The man driving for QRT. As again, rounding through turn 5, lap 20 of 33 is Troy on top of yours in second, Davydenko in third. Smooth Vanya, boy, losing the championship lead. If it stays the way it does, Troy will become the championship leader. As I think he is on for his, what, 4th or 3rd title? We're going to see what happened to JSI, by the way. Oh. Bro just couldn't pit with the bump. And spun, wow. It's actually a battle for the first title versus, yeah, Troy fighting to become the first ever JSI 3-time world champion. So, but he is looking to do this in dominable fashion. They are still neck and neck, really. You can't write it between these two. Troy is out of battery. Yours isn't, in comparison to Troy. So we are on lap 21 here. 13 laps to go. So there's not really much fighting going on at the moment here. MDJ still. Because hopefully at the moment he's really struggling now to keep in the DRS of the car in front of guys, but he has got the DRS here. No, he hasn't. He hasn't got the DRS. Here comes James. Here comes Yours. And round the outside goes Yours. And into the lead goes the Ferrari. Both Ferraris break. And they're done. They're both overtaken. Both into the top 5. The Tifosi go wild. It is no pyro. No party. But there is definitely pyros. But we can see from here in Barcelona all the way back to Maranello. And these two fighting more will allow Davydenko to get back in this. But Troy, now look, it could be a game of DRS chicken, it looks like. Here, as Troy. Looking the faster of the two cars here. As now he goes for the move for the lead of the race. Troy is up and ahead into first place. He leads again for the Spanish Grand Prix for the infinite time here, guys. But we have really close to Davydenko for the final podium position here. And the more points David loses, the more costlier this could be for the championship. Guys, it's going quite quick here. Nitro picks up a 360 monthly. That won't affect his final standing at this current stage. So we're going to enter the final 10 laps of this race. As James has got hounded there by both the Mercedes and the Alpine. The Mercedes and the Alpine are actually going to go for it for P5 here. Ooh, side contact. And I've just had a look at the stats, by the way. If Troy wins today, he will tie the most races won in JSI. We'll go one off. As Troy has broken DRS. Troy is... Wait, what happened to Troy? No. 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 Troy is out. I'm quickly going to try and get him back in here, but Troy is disconnected out of the race. What's happened? So can't get him in. So I have to search for him on here. Jules leads, David in second, guys in third. Big disconnect. Big drama. My apologies here. We are going to have to cut off here. I'm going to try and get Troy in. So he can't seem to go back in. And this is going from bad to worse. I physically cannot get Troy back into the race. It's only allowing me to invite him to come and race in fucking WRC. But he also leads David in second. In this race, I need to add him as a friend really to get him in. Yours leads David in second, guys in third. MGJ, by the way, could have been on the podium, but Marley is really looking to try and get into this fourth place and make it his own. As, yep, Troy now inevitably drops to the back of the grid. So I'm trying everything to get him in. So I physically cannot get him in. He's dropped tonight. He is out of the Spanish Grand Prix. And Yo's might be a bit of a sigh of relief there. By the way, Marley did get past MGJ and up and through to full place does the Mercedes W14 here. And it's a good comeback drive after the crash and spin earlier on in the race. And he has proved his worth, the Belgian maestro. But Troy, man, he's going to be absolutely devastated. I just physically cannot get him in. It's only giving me WRC. As Troy's added me on his friends list now, so I'm going to try and get him in now and see what we can do. No, it will not let me in. So I'll quickly just take a photo to show him. So yeah, I physically cannot get him into the race. And this is going to be gut-wrenching, heartbreaking for Troy, who has been dominating so long. But David is closing in slightly here. Guys could still get second. As apparently the lobby is glitched. As people are now trying to use my account to get in. What the fuck? What the hell is he saying about me? So apparently I would need to check something. And that's why, because Ivo's left the lobby, Troy can no longer enter. David is really closing up to the back of Joe's. Joe's is cruising just slightly. David could win this. Don't rule out David winning this race at his home Grand Prix. But again, guys, it's looking quite racy at the moment here. So yeah, 3 more laps to go here. Yo's isn't looking invincible at the moment. David can still take this. However, a miracle could be required here. Because it's getting into his DRS is one thing, but making the overtake is another. So we enter now the penultimate lap here today. And it is yours out on top. David in second and Guy's in third at the moment. So we'll have interviews just after this race. But it's big drama. David now 1.3 behind goes. So I think it is over. As we enter the penultimate lap here. And it is foot to the floor one more time. Pedal to the metal, you could say. But we don't want to get copyrighted here by George Morgan for using his phrase. MGJ, but he's going to go for it on Marley on the final lap. The Alpine is through into fourth. And that is a great result for the team from Enstone. As Davydenko closes in, but it seems to be a matter of too little, too late for the smooth Spaniard here at his home Grand Prix. And now it is attack, attack, attack. Give everything you've got for Davydenko as we enter the final sector for the final time. And you could say this win a bit fortuitous with Troy's DNF, but as Michael Schumacher once said, to win. First you've got to finish, and yours has lived to that motto as we round the final corner. They did it in Singapore. The Brancicos is back on top in Spain. Yours wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Davydenko comes home for second place, but keep it going for guys. McLaren are on the podium, and in third place for guys, MDJ in fourth for Alpine, Marley in fifth, James in sixth, Goodman's in seventh. Nitro will finish this race in P8. Troy will take 2 points, but I think Nitro is actually going for the fastest lap on the softer compounded tyre. Can he take it? Nitro up to the line. Did he say the fastest lap? As we have finished there. I don't think he did, unfortunately, but that is still 4 points going away of the Aston Martin. 4 points going to Silverstone. And it is the prancing horse out on top once more as he did in Singapore. And it is back to back. And could this be Ferrari's time to shine? Could this be Ferrari's year? Only time will tell. We will hopefully get interviews for the top three. But it is Yoz on top, Dad in second, and guys in third, MDJ in fourth, Malley in fifth, James in sixth, Goodman's in seventh, Nitro in eighth, Troy in ninth. Does also take the fastest lap of the race. On Kincon, JSI, Ivo and Centerpoint failed to reach the checkered flag, so hopefully in a few moments' time we'll be able to get the top three in for an interview, hopefully. So I'll just invite all three to the party. If they join, they join. If they don't, they don't. It was yours. It is David, and it is guys. There we go. We'll get all three in. Now, as we've got 9 seconds to go before we can head over to the showroom and start the interview process. So we'll just wait a few moments' time for everyone to make the way into the party chat. So quickly, there we go. We've only got two in. We don't know if yours will join us. If we head over to the showroom, we're just double checking here. So we've got 3, it says, in the party, including myself. So that does mean we've got 2 of us. So we'll get started since yours isn't here at this current stage with the man at his home Grand Prix, started in 7th but managed to limit the damage for Red Bull, and it is your smooth Spaniard himself, your championship leader still. It is Davydenko. Are you there?
Hello, boy.
Welcome to the interviews pen. It's quite warm in here, but let's start off with qualifying. And it was 7th on the grid for yourself, a bit off the pace in comparison to your teammate, but in retrospect, very still a bit of ways off for P3. But obviously, we saw with the wet conditions, there was a little bit of a one-shot qualifying for a lot of people. So, in the conditions as they were, do you think there was more time in the lap, or do you think it was the best you could have done in those conditions?
I mean, in qualifying, we knew that it's gonna dry out, so we were waiting. So yeah, about my final lap, I lost time in turn 1, turn 4 I went off, and almost spun out. So yeah, I lost like 5 tenths there, more or less. Yeah, in the last corner I went a bit off, so yeah, lost around 2 tenths. I mean, I don't know which was the pole time, but yeah, P3 was there for sure, and it compromised our stars for the race, overtaking the Alpine, the Mercedes, later both McLarens. So I mean, yeah, frustrating quality to be in the home Grand Prix, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously starting P7 at Spain, it can still win, as it's not a track where obviously overtaking isn't as hard as somewhere, for example, like last week in Singapore. But obviously, we saw yourself making a bit of a charge, and right at the end, it seemed a matter of just maybe 1 or 2 laps too little for yourself. With the pace you were going at, it could have been a possible race victory. But with the pace you showed at the end of the stint, do you think that victory could have been possible today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you saw that I was catching the Ferrari in the last 5 or 10 laps, and I mean something to tell about this that I don't know if Jais or Jais, I don't know how to spell the name, but I was in the post. I mean, was in AI when Troy disconnected because we were talking that I was disconnected, and yeah, so in the AI mode I lost like 5 or 6 tenths to Joe's. So I mean, literally there was the DRS gap and the win could be there. So really frustrating. Also, I mean, yeah, P7 is a good charge, but still the win was really possible with 2 safety cars and to be close to Troy and the Ferrari. So a bit disappointed that we lost 7 points with the win, but I mean, yeah, 18 point damage limitation.
Damage limitation indeed, and with Troy's disconnection, that does still mean you remain as a championship leader by a bit of a healthier gap to what it was to, I think it is now 20 points as Troy still picked up 3 points in the end with his AI. I think they'll still count because he did do the majority of the race. But next week, we head over to your team's home Grand Prix. You're getting a lot of home Grand Prix. So far, we head over to Spielberg at the Red Bull Ring. And how do you fancy your chances of taking the battle to Troy again and to possibly extend your championship lead even more?
Well, Austria is a short track, which is good for us, I think, because Red Bull normally goes good there with that speed section, the sectors 2 and 3. But the problem there is that the DRS train is gonna be so much effective there, and people which are slower, like the McLarens or the Mercedes, Aston Martin, even, they can be on the DRS train and ruin some chances to the victory. So it's gonna be interesting. We don't know what can happen every race, so I mean, then we need to practice, talk out with Troy about today's race, and focus on to Austria to get the 1-2 again.
Indeed, get that 1-2 and extend your gap as Ferrari do look to be in fine form. But still, P2 nonetheless, a great result for the Red Bull team. And hopefully, we will see you next week in Austria. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks for commenting.
No worries at all. And still no sign of yours here. So we're going to move on to the driver who he might have stunned a few people out there on the track and came a bit from nowhere to secure a podium for McLaren. But it's still a podium nonetheless. It is, guys, are you there? Well, we have found it nonetheless. So obviously we'll start off with qualifying, and on those final runs you were the first car out on track, and obviously means you didn't have the best track. In fact, you might have had the worst track conditions for qualifying, but still a P4 nonetheless. How do you think the lap went? Did you think you maximized it, or do you think there was a possibility of getting that McLaren onto the front row? Mhm.
for him, obviously a really good job. I wouldn't be able to do that myself, but it was incredible. But for the qualifying lap, I was very content with it because P5 is always like my fallback aim.
Mhm.
Anything higher is great, and P4 was a great position to start the race from.
Yeah, and obviously we saw you get the jump on Troy at the start. You and Ivo, in fact, doubling up just slightly at the start, but obviously he made his way back past. And obviously we saw a bit of a split strategy, in fact, at McLaren. Ivo opting for the softer compounded tyre, which didn't seem to work out for him. But your own strategy, starting on the medium compounded tyres, the medium seemed to be the better race tyre throughout, even on the start. Obviously, we saw the pace you had throughout the race. Do you feel like P3 was possibly the maximum from the car today, or do you think P2 could have been a possibility with how close you were getting to David?
Well, in this situation where we didn't catch up to Hughes, I think P3 was absolutely the maximum. I didn't drive the best pace I could.
Mhm.
Definitely the left-hander with the tight curve on the right and the possibility of losing the rear just before exiting that DRS straight was a corner I struggled with, and one where I didn't want to take the risk. But P3 was absolutely the maximum possible. I got carried with David, of course, who had the faster pace with the DRS zones, and my McLaren, which was an absolute rocket ship today. Behind him, I could like keep up just about every time in the 8, 9, 10s coming up to the main straight. Even going on the second straight, I was 8 tenths behind. It was close margins. So P3 obviously was the maximum. And actually P4, since Troy of course got disconnected, the only possibility would have been if Ivo would have caught up to Hughes, there might be something more to get in the battle in between. But the way this went, there's no way. Absolutely P3.
Yeah, P3, a great result for the McLaren team in a race where the Red Bulls and the Ferrari seem to be dominant. But obviously, next week we head over to the Red Bull Ring, a track where we saw the McLaren come to life in the 2023 season and show its true pace at a track where it is very, very adapted to. But how do you fancy your chances of making this possibly a back-to-back podium, or do you think you'll be more of just getting as many points as you can going into next week?
Well, of course, it's getting as many points as possible, but that's not exclude getting a couple of cars for a podium.
Hmm.
The thing is, this was already a short circuit with very technical corners.
Hmm.
In my opinion, it's less with the Red Bull Ring in Austria. You have a lot of high speed corners, which always go as well. It's the low speed corners where we kind of miss out in the rotation of the front wing. I don't see that being a problem, but with that short of a track, with 2 DRS zones back to back, I might be able to grab onto the DRS from the start, because this time I needed two safety cars. Oh, was that actually two or three? I think it was two.
So,
To be able to, it was like a gamble. The first time I went all out on DRS and I didn't make it. I didn't catch on.
mhm.
And the second time I thought I might not because David was behind me. So I thought I'm gonna let the two go in front, follow David, and then we got into a battle and almost I got overtaken by the Alpine, which was I had to avoid it. But in the Red Bull Ring, I think going back to the question of your answer, um, we have to go with the DRS and see what happens. Just like every case before, maybe podium.
Yes, indeed. We never know what's going to happen, however, going into next week. But still, a great P3 nonetheless. Um, But yeah, hopefully, well, we should see you next week at the Red Bull Ring, and enjoy your evening.
You too. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. Unfortunately, though, we won't have Yo's here, but some good news. I've just checked my calendar, and I will be available for the Austrian Grand Prix commentary. So I will be joining you back next week as we head over to the home of energy drinks, you could say, the Red Bull Ring, home for Oracle Red Bull Racing. Will they be able to have home heroics or will someone throw an upset going into that one? Find out next week here in JSI. And until next time, goodbye.